look where we are. We're on my road. So this is, as you come off where my house is, this is the road I walk through. So my house is the first right, just over there. It's funny because I remember buying this house. I'd met Aurora, my wife. We'd only been together, so I don't know, by the time we bought this house, she was pregnant. We hadn't actually been together that long. We did have a bit of a whirlwind romance and got engaged very quickly. Aurora wanted kids. I wanted kids. Never dreamed we were going to have 5. We probably would have been happy with 2. So I actually remember getting engaged. It was a real special day. I was with my best friend, a guy called Jason, one of my best friends, and I was all excited that we were going to go to this very posh jeweller's. Aurora was going to pick the ring. I had to pick mine as well. And I just remember travelling to Bristol. And we got engaged, and it was lovely. It was a very, I got down on one knee, did all of the usual stuff. And then we just knew we wanted kids. So we obviously, that happened quickly. She was very fertile. But because she was into sport, she was, Aurora was very, very athletic. Yeah, so quite muscly and just a proper fitness chick. So her getting pregnant wasn't straightforward because, okay, she gets pregnant in the normal way, of course. But because her body was a fitness person's body, her becoming gradually more pregnant as the months went on, so I'm not sure how to explain it, but it wasn't straightforward. So when it came to the birth, it was a very, very, very difficult birth. It lasted it was 2.5 days, the birth of Aurora. The first baby was Talia, yeah? She's now 19. A very special time, a really happy time. So she gets rushed. No, actually, no, she goes to the hospital as normal. Everything was fine. Everything was going to plan. I think she was a week or so over on her pregnancy. We're just having a walk, guys. No particular chat here. She was a week or 2 over. The baby was dying to come out. We knew it was a girl. We'd even picked the name, Talia. But the body was so fit, it didn't want to let the baby go. So they were trying for ages. They even put her in a bath, trying to soften everything up. Sorry, too much information, yeah? And it just wasn't going to come out. I ended up sleeping on the floor in the hospital. They said, let's go through the night and see what happens. So at some point, they make a decision to rush her in an ambulance to Bristol because they think the baby, I think, is turned or is facing the wrong way, which it wasn't, but they thought it was, yeah? On the way to the Bristol in the ambulance, there's an accident. They nearly dropped something on her head, a gas metal bottle, which was... The ambulance person in the ambulance needed a gas bottle because she was on air. Now the bottles, which is crazy, were kept on the ceiling of the bus. They had this little opener where you undid the top of the bottles to release the gas. So this, now 1 second, guys. Sorry, get a look at my jeans. I got my white jeans on today, and I got the hoodie that Tony bought me. Tony bought me this, so it's a little bit chilly, but it's not. It's nice chilly, yeah. So the blooming ambulance guy picks up this gas bottle, holds it above Aurora's head when she's in crazy pain because she's having contractions. The worst pain you could imagine. She really did have. The first birth was a nightmare, yeah? She'd been having contractions for like 20 hours. Unbearable. This is why I ended up lying on the floor. So the guy picks up a gas bottle to give her air, undoes it in the ceiling of the ambulance. We're on our way. We're traveling at like 60 miles an hour in the ambulance down the motorway in the UK to go to Bristol because she needed specialist help. And he bloody drops it right above her head. I'm watching him and it misses her head by about an inch. He luckily catches it. Otherwise she would have died, guys. It was really serious. I should have complained, but because she was in such pain and the baby was trying to come out, and I was sat there holding her hand and she was basically screaming. She didn't know it happened. She was completely unaware of it. So we get to the hospital. The first decision that is made is to stop the pain. So she has this thing called an epidural. Sorry, I know this isn't Elvis related, guys. We just have a chat, we're having a walk. So they give her an epidural, which is a very uncomfortable injection that goes into your spine. Yeah, I'm no doctor, but I could see the needle was long, the whole thing was horrible. And they even tell you, the doctor even says to you, look, don't move because you can cause spinal damage. Yeah. So all of it is just horrific. Don't forget, I had never been through this process before. Obviously our first baby. Hi Elizabeth, I'm talking about when Aurora had Talia, our first baby, and it was a complete nightmare. So they give her the epidural. This is after about 20 hours. After I'd already slept on the floor for the night, with no pillow, by the way. It was bloody uncomfortable. Cold as well. Not cold, but, you know, it was a nightmare. So then what then happens, once they give her the epidural, they start monitoring the contractions. They had worked out that the nurse in the other hospital had got things wrong and was asking Aurora to push when the baby wasn't ready to come out, and this is what had caused the damage. So the nurse in the hospital in Weston-super-Mare was telling Aurora to push to get the baby out, but Aurora was not, do they call it dilated? I don't even know what the right word is. She wasn't ready for the baby to come out. So she's pushing when she shouldn't be. And that had caused swelling. And that is why the baby wasn't coming out and why she was having so much pain. Get it, guys? Oh, there's some kids over there. Let me just put this here. I don't like the kids seeing me. Let's just get past the kids, guys. Tell you what, it's lovely, yeah? It's lovely. Okay, 1 second, guys. Look at that. We're at the pond. See where we are? We're at the rockets. We're at the rockets. We're at the pond. They're even waving at me, guys. They're even waving at me. That is that Louis guy, the Elvis guy. The one with the Elvis channel. It's funny, I'm well known now in this whole area for my Elvis channel, and I'm a YouTuber. Louis the YouTuber. Right, let's walk through our usual bit. No dog today, guys. We've already walked the dog. I thought I'd do my own walk. So there's the motorway, guys. That way to Bristol, yeah? That way, the other way to Exeter. Anyways, just make sure there's no more kids around. Okay. So they give her this injection that makes her whole body go numb, which stops her having pain. I think the total time that she was in serious pain for was 22 hours. So once she's had the epidural, she can't feel anything. She's completely numb. And then we just waited. I think it was another 10 hours. We just waited, and eventually it was time for the baby to come out, and it just came out very easily. And Talia was born, our first child. We both absolutely worshipped Talia. Now, I'll tell you a bit more stories about Talia. Now, we took Talia on a cruise. She's just a tiny little baby. Now, by the time we went on the cruise, she was about 8 or 9 months old. She had this thing that when she used to have screaming fits, so if she had pain, you know, if she fell over and banged herself, she would scream so much that she would run out of breath and go unconscious. She would literally go unconscious. Her whole body would go limp. And she did this every now and then for the first 2 or 3 years. Now, when we were on the cruise ship, we did a European cruise. We were on the top bunk of the cruise ship. We had this deck chair that was up against the side. So when we weren't concentrating, and she starts climbing up the deck chair. I turns my head round. She's at the top of the deck chair. If she had gone up another foot, she would have fallen off the ship. Screamed my head off, grabbed her. Then she kept having, on that cruise, she kept falling over or banging herself, screaming and knocking herself unconscious. She would literally go unconscious when she had a screaming fit. So we paid for the guy on the ship. We paid extra money to go and see the doctor of the ship. And we took Talia to the doctor, and we said to her, she's literally screaming to the point where she loses all her air and goes unconscious. And he did all the checks, checked her lungs and her heart and her you know, all the usual stuff, breathing. And he was there with the baby, this tiny little baby, because she was very tiny, Talia was. And he said, she's fine. She said, it's actually more common than you think, where a baby screams so much when they hurt themselves, you know, falling over or whatever, that they go unconscious. So she carried on doing this go unconscious thing for the first 2 or 3 years of her life. Funny, isn't it? It's funny how something so tiny, you worship them. You literally, because obviously, before I met Aurora, my wife, yeah, I've been with her 20 years now, yeah? Over 20 years. Because we did our 20th anniversary on the 25th of August, but I actually met her before then. I met her in July. So we've been together. We're getting on to 21 years, guys. Now, you think about my life before I met Aurora. Of course, I was always an Elvis fan. You know, I was a DJ. For really most of my adult life, I was a DJ. I was a party DJ. I wasn't the normal DJ that just played music. I was a party DJ. So I would play 50s, or, you know, 50s, 60s, 70s, 80s music. I would stand in the middle of the stage and I would play party games. I was great with stag nights, hen nights, I don't know if you have those in America. Yeah, you know, where you do play party games and you get people going for their birthdays, if they're getting married, any celebration, people would come to my nightclub, my disco, you know, mine and my brothers, my twin brothers. In case you don't know, I'm a twin, yeah? My twin brother's called Andreas. He's a YouTuber as well. Anyway, so I would get on the dance floor and I would play all these competitions and drinking competitions, and we would do all kinds of things, yeah? I was a party DJ, so I would talk a lot and I would play the music. So I enjoyed it, guys. I was obviously running my businesses, so we had cafes, chip shops, we had an amusement arcade, we had some bars, some pubs, we had, oh yeah, they loved Elizabeth, they loved it. My businesses were loved, yeah? We were rammed, like thousands of people coming every weekend, or even through the week sometimes, but weekends especially, yeah? Thursday, Friday, Saturday night were very busy. If it was a bank holiday weekend, it was busy on Sunday and Monday as well. So my life was really like that. During the day, I would work in the catering places, so in the cafes, the chip shops. I would serve drinks during the day behind the bar, clear tables, clear glasses. That was really my job, yeah? We had staff, well, of course. We even had managers. I had quite a cushy little life. Yeah, we did. We had quite a cushy life. Me and my brother, we liked running the businesses. Eventually, we had 5 or 6 businesses, but they were all close together. So we would walk between them and run them together with about 40 staff. We had 3 managers. We did it for, nearly 30 years. I loved being a DJ. I loved it. I'm going to say it myself, guys. I was a bloody good DJ. I was very good, yeah? I knew how to keep the crowd happy. I knew how to keep people in my bar, in my nightclub. I was really friendly, really respectful. I would shake everyone's hand. I would even get on the dance floor and dance with the customers. I loved it. But I will say this, there was a point where I started, I had lots of different girlfriends. Some of them were trouble. People took advantage of me and my brother because we were successful and wealthy. People would use us for free drinks, for money. We had a lot of jealousy. We did get bullied a lot. When you have a lot of success, guys, you do get bullied. So me and Andrew had to have, we did have bodyguards, security staff. Oh yeah, Elizabeth, I've got tapes of it. I've got tapes of me DJing, yeah? Videotapes of me DJing as well. We had a brilliant time, but I tell you now, if after about 25 years of it, we made our money, we bought some properties. A disc jockey, Linda, a disc jockey, play music, play records, go on the microphone and have fun with the customers. Linda. So I did get to a point where I just thought, yep, I would drink. Yep, I did drink. I wasn't I did drink, but I wasn't a drinker. Does that make sense? I never drank alcohol at home. I still don't now. I'm not a drinker now. I don't drink, yeah? Unless I'm on holiday. If I go on holiday, I'll have a drink, but that's only 1 or 2 weeks a year, yeah? I'm just not a natural drinker. I've never liked drugs either. I've never taken drugs. So I'm pretty boring, yeah? Hi, Frederick. I did get to a point, guys. No, I wouldn't do that. Linda, I did get to a point where I got bored of DJing, bored of drinking, and luckily I met my wife. Now, part 2 coming up. I'm going to jump over to Elvis Presley long lost footage. My life with Aurora and my kids. See you in a minute.